Ooh, I like the way it looks. You can see the statue. From where
Nah.
I'm sitting, I can't see it.
No, yeah, I decided I wanted to get the statue.
That looks good.
Ooh,
So we're in a new location right now.
As everyone can tell. Who wants to guess whose house we're in this time?
Ooh, that's a good one.
whose
That's a good
house is
one.
this?
Whose house? Is it Witchy's, Noodles, or mine? Pick, pick. Alright, guys, so you guys are tuning in. This is season 2, episode 3 of Bluntly Talking. Yeah!
Whoop, whoop.
We're doing Reddit stories today, and it's up and posted on Blue Sky. Yes. So, yeah, just a quick reminder. You guys can follow all of our socials. We have I don't know if it's Linktree or, I know I have Linktree in some, and then we have the other one, which I don't remember what the other one is called. But it's in our bio, you guys.
Like I have link or something like that.
Yeah.
I think. I
How
think.
was your guys' week? We didn't do a stream all week. In a week, actually. The last time we streamed was last Friday.
Yeah.
Doing good. Because the seasons are changing, I am now having a runny nose.
Well, that's fun.
No, yeah. So the snow over here, like, cause people been walking on it so much, is no longer fluffy. It's now compact, so it's just pure ice.
Oof. I hate when that happens with the weather.
Yes. So I guess if anyone really wants free ice, you can come up to Maryland.
Do
Come to the East Coast, you'll probably find plenty of it.
you ever wonder, like, I think, like, oh my God, how did it used to be back in the days, when they didn't have
Like the
central
olden
heating?
times.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh.
Sometimes I would think about it, then it's like, it also makes sense why so many. I mean, there's other things other than just death of life. I mean, there's new birth of life, and oh shit, someone's racing down the
And oh
street.
shit.
Sorry,
Oh, was that you? Oh my God.
yeah, just some car that went speeding down all of a sudden. Okay, seriously, where
That's
the fuck is a
crazy.
cop when you need it in that moment? Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you how many times I see some people do something stupid on the road, and me and my wife are just like, "Where's the cop when you need it?"
Yeah,
To see it in
Yeah,
that
they're not
moment.
reporting it.
true.
I know, right? It's stupid.
So I think this week for me, thanks for asking, you guys.
Well, before we could get to
How was
you,
how was your week?
Oh, thank you for asking. Let me tell you. Um, man, this week feels like it was like 2024, like a whole year happened in this week. It's weird, right? Because I feel up until yesterday, I was super calm. This whole time, I think like I felt really calm, like we're good, everything's fine. The energy, I would feel it like just calmness. And I know we talked about this yesterday, Noodles and I was saying it's weird because I know that a lot of people are not feeling well right now and they're panicking and there's a lot of anxiety in the air. But at the same time, there's like a calm. And then today, I've just been feeling like, I don't know, like I think the anxiety, the energy is just building up and building up. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm like, oh my God. We're like in the middle of January, and it feels like a whole year has just passed since 2025 started.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Like
feel
so
like
many
it's
things.
just there's just a lot of emotion right now that is throwing everybody off, I think. Like that, like you have the people who are panicking and then you have the people who are very calm and then you have the other ones that it's kinda like, well, what are we doing about it, guys?
Right.
You know?
So it's crazy, but I think today, one of the things that has kind of, I don't want to say broken me, but I guess has gotten me down a little bit is the whole thing with the TikTok ban. So I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys heard, but I mean, a lot of people were hoping with the Supreme Court that they would extend it. And they didn't. They didn't today. They upheld the TikTok ban. So for right now, it just seems that Sunday, I don't know if Sunday is gonna shut down or Sunday is the last day.
I think Sunday's gonna shut down.
So
That's how they've been saying it.
so we just have one more day, kind of.
Yeah, basically.
God.
And so, yeah. Here's the thing. My TikToks, I haven't gone viral. I'm not even in a creator program. Like, I'm not a big uh, creator person on TikTok, right? I'm just a casual viewer. I feel it took me forever to start posting, and the times that I have posted, it's just been on and off. I haven't really been consistent. So really, if you think about it in that sense, it's like, okay, well, on to the next thing.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think, I sit back and I think about all the people that have actually made a living through it.
Yeah.
I saw this article where it said that it's, like, I don't know if this is exaggerated, but like 7 million. I don't even know how many users really are on TikTok, but people in the millions that have been working full time through TikTok
Mm-hmm.
are literally going to be unemployed.
Yeah.
And in that sense, that's kind of what, like, oh my God, do they not realize with that, the economic part of this? And then I think about, well, the rest, right? I don't know about you guys, but I've seen in all the time, in all these years that I've been on TikTok, I've seen TikToks where testimonies of people throughout the years, TikTok has saved me, and I've learned so much through TikTok.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And And I think about all of those, and I include myself in those. I've learned a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
good and bad.
Mhm.
And it's just to think about, I think that's very soul crushing.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people saying about how they don't know what they're gonna do once TikTok is gone because of that, because they made basically a living off of TikTok, or
No,
like
yeah,
how
cause
TikTok is their main source of income.
Yeah.
no, yeah, cause like even if there were people like saying, oh, just switch over to another social media, it's like first of all they had to start all over again. And even if they did, like again, certain social medias and everything, like they have either very harsh restrictions, it's like certain guidelines and how many, how long, and what kind of posts they could do. TikTok was like literally one of the few that I could say that was like practically free, other than like, oh, like no hate and no stuff, like don't pick on
Hmm.
anybody like that, and like no copywriting, whatever. But to me, it's like, other than that, like it had literally like free reign, no advertisement whatsoever. Because like most other social medias too, like they'll add like freaking advertisement.
Yeah, with this one, there was ads, but you could like scroll through it really fast.
No, yeah, like
Yeah.
you weren't forced to like watch it through.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I just, like I said, I think about, if it's so sad for me and I haven't made one single penny from it, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine how all these people are feeling right now. I saw one where this girl, and she looked young. She looked to be like in, her 20s. Um, and she was crying and saying that that's it for her business. I don't, I think she made things and she was selling them through TikTok, and she was doing very well. And she
Hmm.
says that she has a lot of merch that is just gonna sit there now, that she has other social medias, but the bulk of it was coming from TikTok.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there's so many like that. And that is when I think, this is why they're doing this is just one of the many
Mm-hmm.
reasons, because this isn't even just like a red issue. It's a both. It's both. To think that both the red team and the blue team, they can't agree with anything. Oh, but
Mm-hmm.
let's ban TikTok.
Yeah.
That they can't agree with, you know. But
It's
so,
BS.
well, this is why I think a lot of people are now realizing that this isn't a race issue. This
Mm-hmm.
isn't an immigrant. Really, it's not an immigrant issue. It's a money issue.
Mhm.
It's a one percenters and us. And this is just an example of that. The reason, like, why are they taking, oh, because they're spying on you. Meta does it all the time. Meta
Mm-hmm.
does it all the time.
Yeah.
What's the difference? The difference is that a lot of people were making money, we're making a living. And so, because what happened after the pandemic? What's been the one thing that they're saying? Oh, we don't have the workers because during the pandemic, guess what? This is when TikTok blew up during the pandemic because
Mhm.
now people were at home, but then people realized, oh, that they could make money off of this, and they started doing that. And the government didn't like that, you know? It's just, I'm angry, I'm sad, and I'm still hoping
Okay. We're back.
we are back, back again.
No, yeah, and
I
I think
sang
for
that song.
no, yeah. I think for us too, like again, people are starting like I know for like whether it's like gaming, creative, homemaking, whatever, like it's also another form of platform to like express oneself and also to like find your community that way a lot more faster too. Because again, if you don't like it and you start liking like certain things, like whether it's homemaking, uh, DIYs, like again, like anything, eventually the algorithm starts to realize like, oh, yeah, you might like this, and because of this, like you might also like this. You know, like it is. A lot of times, I admit, it is very randomized generation generated. However, there's also like, from what I like, it also has like another different page just for you, like things that you've liked before in the past, like from the same creators or like again, just like in the same general genre.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And to me, it's like I like that because like it's not just the creators, it's not just like others who are doing similar things like them. Like it really is like just a bunch of random stuff. Like I guess what you could almost call like how like a public library is.
Right.
Like it'll
Yeah.
have like romance, but like romance is like such a broad thing. Like it'll be literally anything. Like it'll be romance, fantasy, sci-fi, adult, young adult, um, like
Yeah,
slightly
like it
original,
was
or even advice, like romance advice stuff there too.
right.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say the good thing about this, the good thing and the hilarious part is that I don't even, I want to say I must have seen a creator on TikTok talk, and that's how I found this out. So then people started saying, you know what? Fine. You guys are gonna ban TikTok because of this. Well, guess what? We are gonna go to this other social media that is in China, and we're just all gonna go over there. And we all went over there. Have you gone, Witchy? Have you seen
I
it yet?
have heard it, yes. I have not downloaded it mostly because, well, I mean, again, still very new. Don't know much about it. I'm one of those people like who like give it a time just to like get a feel of it. I don't I immediately download stuff right away. As both of you know, you've done
Mm-hmm.
this to me several times in the past where you tell me, oh, download it immediately. It's like, I'm gonna give it a moment. I'm gonna let it stew. No, yeah, and along with hearing that, like, again, I remember them saying, like, how literally, like, um, I think some government officials and some other, like, I want to say people, like, how, like, again, like Elon Musk, like, how um people like that like who own those big ass brands are saying like, oh, you know, like because you're going with them now they're stealing all your information, and how
Mm-hmm.
again like how even China has responded saying like pretty much almost like a laughing emoji and saying like we don't have to do anything, you guys are all freely giving this to us, we just offer it,
Mm-hmm. Well,
and
that's
it is really laughable.
that's what I was gonna say. First of all, I think you, of all people, would absolutely love it. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And a lot of people describe it as a mix of Instagram. with Pinterest with a touch of TikTok, which I think that's a really good way of explaining it.
Huh.
But so far, I love it. Yes, did I click through everything like a freaking robot because I've been trained and I am from the US and unfortunately we've been trained to just bypass everything. Yes, I did. I signed the agreement. No, I did not read it because hello, it was in Mandarin. And I was like, fuck the ban and I'm gonna do this. And then I saw a TikTok where it said, you guys just signed the thing and you guys didn't even see that it says that basically, I don't even know if it's true because I still haven't read it because at this point, I don't give a shit. But supposedly, yes, like anything that you upload there, it's like, it's theirs to use.
Mm-hmm.
So, for
Yeah.
example, if you're an artist, just don't upload your art. I mean, I'm not an artist, and the stuff that I just put up my first video, and it was a video of our dogs. Like that's what it is. Because it is so cute. Everybody's like, "Have you paid your cat tax today? Have you paid your dog tax or your pet tax?" Because they love pictures of your pets. So I needed to pay my pet tax, okay? But I think it is. It's so funny because it's like, oh, you're telling us you're banning TikTok because you don't want us to give information to China. Okay, here, China.
No, yeah, the fact that it's literally the whole like telling a child like don't stick
Yeah,
your hand in the fire or don't push that button, and now they're like, I'm gonna do it now because
but
you told me no.
see, here's the thing. What honestly,
It's
what
justified.
can they do? Like right now, what could whoever in China, I don't even know what is China. See, that's the thing. This is something that I'm learning, and a lot of people are learning about Red Note. Okay,
Hmm.
we were programmed to think. Right now, if listen to even just what I just said. Like, well, what is China gonna do? Because I'm thinking, like, what are they gonna do with whatever information that the people here don't have? Like, Zuckerberg already has my information.
Yeah.
Bezos has our information already.
The
Mm-hmm.
They
government has
have
our
it
information.
everywhere. So, what can China do with my information? First of all, I don't have shit. Like, what can they do with it?
You
I
can give
don't
me a
give. I
hundred
don't care.
bucks. I demand it
They,
right
they
now.
can
Give
They
me
can
a
fix
hundred
our
bucks.
credit score is what they can do right now.
I know,
exactly
fix it all, like, and
wipe
then
my
you can start
butt.
using it.
But see, that's what I'm saying. So this whole time we've been conditioned to fear something, but like what? And then when the people, because I've seen so many TikToks of this, and I've seen so many people on Red Note saying this, when we get there and we're seeing how it is, it's nothing of how they told us. When I think, it's kind of like when I think of Russia, right? When I think of Russia, honestly, because I've been at Gen X here, and I'm sorry, in the 80s, like Russia was like enemy number one. That's how I grew up.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And so in my mind, it was like, oh, like Russia was just like this. I just saw it as this big, you know, red nation, and but I never realized now that I'm older, obviously, and I'm realizing, oh, it's not. It's the governments.
Yeah.
It's not us, the people, and that is what we're learning, and that is what a lot of people. And I was telling Noodles, I said, this is what they mean by mass awakening, because so many people are realizing, oh, so you mean a there's people on the other side of the world, actual people, like good people. They're not like these bad people that we were taught.
Hmm.
So honestly, I do think that you should check it out, but I understand there are reservations, of course. Like, just don't upload your original content your original content. I mean, don't, yeah, your original art or music. Just be aware that. But honestly, has that not happened here
True.
Yes.
Like so many, like again, like
already?
Noodles and I were talking about this again. Like I am actually back enrolled in my classes again, and
Yay.
thank you. And unfortunately, I
Okay.
do remember like how before in the past, again, like studying digital graphics and everything before in the past, the number one like artistic tool that we would use was Adobe for so many
Mm-hmm.
years. And
Mm-hmm.
again, when I went with my wife overseas, I ended up having to pretty much like suspend my college um,
Classes and
my
stuff, yeah.
classes at the time because like a lot of them weren't online
Yeah.
until the pandemic happened and everything. But again, ended up having to do that. Ended up having to drop Adobe and everything. I literally had to like just cancel my account. And I think at the time, because it was a student one, all my progress and everything was like deleted automatically. And
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but I still kind of want to work with it a little bit. So at the time, I asked my wife if she could download it for me, just temporarily, so I could still keep up with it. I didn't touch it at all. I feel so bad because at the time we only had one computer, and she was okay. So again, at the starter pack, if I remember, like just if you're not a student, I think when you're a student, it's like $5 or like $6, if I remember. And again, at the time, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you were to buy it by itself, again, starter pack, because again, you had the discount before, but as a regular person, it was like $10. And then like for like a medium pack, I think it went up to 20, and then for the full pack, it was like 100. And I remember looking at that and I was like, when the hell did the price jump so high?
I'm like, those prices sound very low to me.
No, I mean at the time they were that high, but I think yeah, that after a while like, they got higher. But like again, like I remember
Yeah.
hearing that back then, and I was like, what the fuck? And then like not even a year later, I heard everyone saying like drop Adobe, and I was like, why? At first I thought like it has to be because of the prices. Later on, comes to find out like Adobe is now saying like every single thing you make on there, no matter what it is, they now have claim on it. It doesn't matter if you put your signature or watermark or you have the original content like on a different save file. It's like as long as you're using
Mm-hmm.
Adobe attached to it, it is not ours. And
Yep.
when I heard that, it broke my heart. Cause again, when I remember when Adobe like first came out a little bit, I was in high school and all the way up into my college years. I it was a bit tricky to learn, yes, but the stuff you can make with it at the time, I loved it, I just I
Yeah.
did love it. And the fact that now I was doing this, I was just like, well fuck, what now I'm gonna use?
And that's what I'm
And
saying.
no, yeah, like again the fact that like Adobe a well-known one too, and the fact that like it's actually now in trouble because so many people are dropping it, so many people have stopped creating in it, like they're literally having to try like get back all their old customers. And again, because like I'm going back to school, I really don't want to use Adobe. I've messaged all of my teachers, my professors, asking them if there's any alternatives I could use besides Adobe. And again, I asked Noodles to ask because like she was recently in the classes and asked her like if they will even let me.
Mm-hmm.
And she says like some teachers will, and that some won't. So I'm hoping my teachers say yes to me and say like, okay, yeah, as long as it has something similar that they'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
use or open and like show my work.
Yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
have looked up online like free other creative tools like work similarly to Adobe that could be used and like supported in that system.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot. At first, it came up with me the first 10 top ones, and then like it says to scroll down for more to like down to 20 and so much more. And to me, it's like, no, yeah, like Adobe's not the. Okay, so random question: does anyone else loves watching their dogs sleep?
Yes.
I love it because either their little tiny barks or like their little patitas just moving in the air like they're running after something. It's just so fucking cute, and I'm just like, what are you dreaming? What are you chasing in your head?
Right. Well, anyways, so I don't know. It's like I said, I don't think I think that they're trying to scare us
Mm-hmm.
again into not going into Red Hill because they're appalled to think that this is the one thing that they've tried to brainwash us about. But you know what? We first of all we're petty enough, but second of all, it's hard because now that we're connecting, because it's also not just Americans. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, people from Europe, people from all over the world. It's like, hey, I'm from the UK and I followed I'm following the Americans, and oh, I'm from Mexico, I'm from Canada, and Australia here. Like, it's not just us, it's the world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we're all waking up. And I do believe that this is part of it because I think we are realizing that we were all lied to. Right now, I feel so gaslighted. I feel like, and I feel I've been in the spiritual journey for so long already, a couple of years. And I've known this, I've talked about all of these theories for so long already. But
Mhm.
one thing is talking about it, and then it's like, oh, shit, we were right.
You know what's funny? When you talk about this, I always think of that one episode in American Dad where, again, conspiracy theory about the whole controlling and everything. And the one is like with Francine, like again, like Roger the alien, he has like a weird conspiracy theory con up in the attic. And there's a bunch of, again, so many different conspiracies. And she's like, oh, that's all bogus and everything. And he's like, oh, yeah, like, where have you heard that from? And she says like either like from her husband's stand or like on the internet or on the thing called the drinking mimosas whatever.
hmm
And he's like, you don't think that's conditioning you? Again, like so many other the conspirators like are saying like you're
hmm
being conditioned, and she doesn't believe that, so she goes to ask Stan. He kind of like low key freaks out, but he's like, oh, you're just like you're overthinking it. He turns on the TV for the drink of mimosa. It's like, look, the hamsters are getting married and they're gonna probably have a baby soon. She's over here all happy about it. So he
Yeah.
drives to work. I'm doing air quotes. And then she
Yeah.
realizes like he forgets his lunch, so she decides. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. um, so finally she sneaks in. She goes in through the back door like the way he did, and then all of a sudden like all the cast members, the crew, and everybody they gather in the center. Stan goes in the middle, and he says like, "So my wife is seeming to like come out of her little fog a little bit. So we need to up the cuteness." And he's like, "Where are we
Oh
on the
my God.
hamsters?" And they're saying like, "Well, like she already gave birth and she ate 3 of them." And he's like,
Mhm.
"And you guys didn't catch that?" And they're like, "No, we thought like that'd be a little too violent." And he's like, "Okay, so scrap that. Get a new hamster couple lookalikes and have them have new babies and make sure she doesn't eat
Mhm.
them." And then Francie sees this and she's like low key freaking out. And he tries to excuse it, and she goes back home and he tries to like smooth it out, but like then she becomes a big ass conspirator too, and she's trying to come up with so many different ones. And I think the major one that she came up with that ended up turning out to be true was that they were spying through their cameras on their phone to watch you in your when you're going to the restroom. Stupidly
Yeah.
enough, but again, when Stan brings up to his boss about this, and like oh yeah, she found out I was kind of low key controlling her, and she came up with all these theories. So the boss kind of started low key freaking out. So he takes Stan to the side. He's like, you know what? I can let you in on a secret. She's right. We've been watching you guys. He's like, what? He's like, yeah. It's like, and he brings up a embarrassing moment when Stan's on the restroom having the hardest poop of his life, and he ends up like blowing up the bathroom. He ends up blaming it on the sun. And
Oh my
Stan's immediately like, oh
God.
my god, no, please don't tell anybody about that. He's like, see? It's like, that's why we recorded it, so we could record your embarrassing moments, and now you can't do anything about it. And then the boss turns around and says like, oh, but now that your wife is kind of like breaking it out
Waking
because
up.
like, yeah, waking up. Sorry, so the moral of the thing is that like, no, yeah, like you could hear the most stupidest, crazy theories ever. Odds are, 9 out of 10, one of them is bound to be right, no matter how crazy it is.
Mhm. Well, and with that note, just a reminder that we aren't professionals and this content is strictly our opinion and is for entertainment purposes only. Moving on. All right, you guys. So I'm going to start off this Reddit story thing with an unpopular opinion.
Ooh, I love those.
All right, let's hear it.
God, don't kill me. The title is Snape's love for Lily wasn't romantic, it was creepy. I
I've
mean,
read this one.
I haven't heard this one, but I feel like I could low key like see it.
I mean, come on. He was obsessed with her. She turned him down, married another dude, and was happy. And he kept up this unhealthy obsession with her. Love is an obsession, and I have no idea why everyone romanticizes it. I wish he could have healed and moved on from this fantasy life. I mean, always. Come on, that's a sign of a serial stalker. Okay, what do y'all
Oh
think
my
about that?
god.
Okay, first of all, yes and no. I mean, yes, like the fact that he literally hung up his whole like, oh, like she is my first ever because like she's the only one who showed me affection type deal. But which again, like as so many obsessed loves have started, whether it's on a drama, movie, TV series, whatever, like that has happened. However, people need to realize again, like so many of the genres, like stalking, especially that, like I think like yes, was he a bit more hung up on her than he should have been? 100% yes. But I don't think it went down to the point that he felt like he had to try to find a way of like owning her because yes, like when she rejected him, if I remember from the story that you've read when we were little, and before anyone asked, I was not there willingly. They both literally forced me there to hear the story, so hoping that I would love Harry Potter as much as they did. Um, okay, to me it sounded like the whole like it's hard to let go of the first love type deal, you know? Because
Mhm.
like I still remember my first crush every now and then, and do look back on the days that we had some good times with fond memories. Yes. Does that make me a stalker? No. It
Mhm.
just, it's just something fun to look over to. I think he got too much hung up on it. I mean, a little bit, but also because you got to remember, like, especially in the stories and in the movie, it showed like he was literally outcasted by everyone, even by his own house. So not only
Mhm.
like his house in Hogwarts, but even his own family. He literally had no one. So yes, I could see why he in a sort of very unhealthy-ish kind of way, like will hang on to Lily because like she was literally the only source that was giving him any type of affections, whether it was like familial or love or just even telling him like he's worth himself.
Mhm.
So I could see why he would want to try to hang on to that. Now, when she did end up marrying, like James, like yes, he was very heartbroken, and honestly, again, like he knew the curses. He could have easily manipulated her. He could have easily made her turn against James or made James a very bad guy to the point that like it ruins their relationship. But he doesn't.
Mhm.
He lets it be. Is he happy about it? No. He stays away, but he still kind of keeps on her because like that's his friend. That's his first love.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
could it have gone to that point? Yes, but it didn't, and I give him credit for that.
Okay. What about you, Noodles?
Yeah, I'm more of I wish he could have gotten over her, but
Mhm.
I understand why he kept pining over her because I do feel like some people do that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm like trying to remember the story. I don't ever really remember him like breaking into their house up until he heard that what happened, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Like he did keep his distance, but just kept tabs.
Mhm.
I don't think he had anything malicious behind it, you know? I think it was just he still saw her as a friend.
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
because of what he was doing behind the scenes, he knew that she could be a target, you know?
No, yeah,
Mhm.
especially since that whole prophecy thing, and there was like two different couples having babies around the same time, so it's like it could be either or.
And see, I don't think that's the correct word
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for Snape. But no, I do. I don't think he was such a good guy. Like
No, no.
the
Yeah,
way at the
mhm.
end everybody was like, "Oh my gosh," I'm like, no, because he was mean. I don't think he had to be that mean to Harry. Although people would say, "Oh, well, it's because he was trying to, um, he was like undercover or whatever." I think he just genuinely didn't like him because he was James'
Yeah.
son. Yes, he was Lily's son, but he was also James' son.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
sorry.
and so I think that he didn't. I think he genuinely didn't like Harry, but he was doing it, I think, for the memory of Lily. Yeah, maybe it is a little. It's maybe a little bit creepy, just because it would have been better if he would have moved on
Mm-hmm.
and find someone, but instead he didn't. So that's the sad part about it.
Yeah.
No,
But
yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as calling him a stalker for sure. No.
No, yeah.
Creepy, yes.
Creepy, yes.
And also the
Not a
fact too
stalker.
that like everyone literally like who knew James too like said like how he was literally the spitting image of James. Like the only difference like was like he had his mom's eyes.
Mhm.
Like that's literally the only difference. Everyone said like, oh, it's just like you have your mom's eyes. Like other than that,
Yeah.
you look like exactly like your dad. So I could see that like how maybe he did unintentionally put out all of his resentment and anger towards Harry that way.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with that like you said, but it's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Else, do you have something for us?
Yes, I do. This is just off of Rant, and it says, I hate clothes so much.
I agree.
God, of course.
Okay, I should wait until like, the story. Got it.
It's a short one, so don't worry. I hope this is not a unique point of view, but since childhood, I've always seen clothes as an annoying waste of money, time, and space. Let's see. You need to wash them, iron, fold, hang up, take care of them. Look for combinations because the actual world has sold us on the idea that you need to have an style. Those are in quotation marks.
Mm.
That no one fucking cares about it in the end.
Mm.
Don't
Mhm.
don't think I don't use clothes, but if I wouldn't get arrested by walking freely at the streets naked, I would 100% do that. I like my clothing designs and all that. And all that is just the wording is so weird. I'm sorry. All that is just that I would love a world when those things aren't a daily necessity. And then he goes on to rant a little bit about the tag in the back of your clothing.
Mhm.
Basically, he doesn't understand why those are there. He just rips them off.
Oh, so apparently they actually do have a use. Sorry, fun fact on the side. To not only tell what kind of fabric and stuff like goes into it, but also like in some cases like, oh, like your clothes can actually be washed with either cold or hot or mixed, or they can't be in
Yeah.
dryers, or they have to be hanged, air dry, things like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said before, I agree. And funny part enough, I was thinking like, okay, then join a nudist camp, because funny enough, again, there are okay, so like I said, there are communities like that, and I remember this so many years ago. Oh my god, like they actually did an interview with some nudist people, couples, singles, and like a family, asking how are their everyday lives are, and it's like they say it's pretty much almost normal. Um, they say whenever they do go outside, like yeah, they have to wear clothes which they don't like much, and they say they wear. I remember this one couple, like this woman literally wore a crop top with like no bra, very small shorts and like sandals, and the dude, I think all he wore was jean
Socks.
shorts. No, he wore jean shorts, flip flops, and I think
Sorry.
like a sweater.
Oh,
And
okay.
they say like this will be like our everyday like summer like somewhat spring attire. They said come around fall and winter, like they say yeah, that's like that one, those are like the few months out of the year where everyone actually does wear full clothing, because like even they know like yeah, like there's only so much that our body can handle. And they say other than like clothing, like they bathe, everyone bathes like practically like regularly, whether it's like every day or like every other day or like once or like twice a week. But every night they say like whenever they're clean, and like they save a lot more because they don't buy clothing and stuff like that. And they even acknowledge like this is not like an everyday, like this is not very accepted for everybody, but like they found a way and they're like we're fine with it, you know?
Hmm.
And to me it's like okay, if we could find somehow like a weird happy middle and just like deal with the cold months, like how they said like oh like fully clothed, like how again I'm a freaking burrito on my couch trying to keep warm, so it's like Okay, I can see that. Like I need my layers to stay alive. Unlike my two huskies, they're fine on the floor, like whatever, looking at me like, why are
Yeah.
you shivering?
Wait, so the rent, okay. Was it the person just doesn't like clothes at all, or doesn't like the fact that you have to like combine it and all that?
I think it's like not
I
liking clothes at all.
I think what's going on is that they don't like the chore of having to wash the clothes. So to them,
Mm-hmm.
they don't like it. They think that everyone should go natural, basically. Like that would be the best thing to do.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah. So I don't agree with that. I definitely, one, because of hygiene, I do think, I mean, as it is right now, I really don't like, eh, I don't really like, I don't know, just the thought of like somebody cooking in their house and they're totally nude. Like, I'm sorry, no. So, hygiene wise, I mean, no, I just, no. But what came to my mind when you were saying that about the combination of the clothes, two things popped into my mind. The first was like the mind of just like a little girl, like I think picture of a kindergartner,
Hmm.
right? And like, how do kids dress? If you were to let the kids dress by themselves, kids would probably wear like an orange pants with like a purple shirt or like,
Yeah,
I don't. And we go back to the conditioning, right? Because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter.
yeah.
But we've all, as a society, decided, I don't know who decided, but we've all gone along like sheep. Oh, yes, because these colors combine. Because every time you see somebody that dresses flashy or dresses different than the norm, it like, oh my God, look at the way that person is dressed. And they're either made fun of or there's a sensation, you know?
Yeah.
But it really shouldn't be that way. It really should be where, because again, it's just clothes, really. You're right, it's for protection. It's for protection from the heat, from the
Hmm.
sun, and it's protection from the cold, and if it's raining. So, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Like, that's what I thought. At first, I thought that's what the person was kind of like
Hmm.
protesting.
Well, he kind of points that out. It that being one of his points was that it doesn't matter. Like style shouldn't matter. Basically, you
Yeah,
should wear whatever fits. Basically, like
right.
it doesn't. You shouldn't make a whole theatrical of does this top go with these pants? Is my hairstyle goes with it? Like all of that. I'm guessing is
Right. That part I agree.
Mhm.
And it makes me think of like, and I hate to say it, but like Zuckerberg. I remember Zuckerberg was one of the first ones who everybody would point out, like, look, he wears the same, pants and the same shirt for years and years. I don't know if he still does that,
hmm.
but for years and years, like he was doing that. And his reasoning for that was because he didn't have time. Like he didn't have time to think of that, so he was fine wearing the same clothes. Like he would wear different shirts, they were just all the
Yeah.
same. And
Mhm.
I remember seeing a video where they showed his closet, and he opened his closet, and it was like a bunch of like black shirts, a bunch of blue
Hmm.
shirts, and this he said, this and that he was trying to save as much, I don't know, brain power, I guess, because we do every decision that we make, it is draining to the brain. This is why a lot of times, even if you're not actively working outside, but if you're working inside, like if you're, even if you're sitting and you're working, at the end of the day, you're still going to be tired.
Yeah.
So I think that was why, because he said, he's not going to use up brain power, because at the end of the day, it's just close. And
Hmm.
that I agree with. That I think, yeah. But unfortunately, society hasn't caught up with us yet. And unfortunately, we are judged by what we wear, how we wear it,
Hmm.
and yeah. No, I don't think people should go nude though. If you want to be nude in your house, fine, but not out in
I was
public and
gonna
stuff like
say,
that.
I've always said it that once I get my own place, I'm not gonna be wearing a lot of clothes when I'm by myself.
Oh gosh.
So,
So don't drop by
yeah, don't drop
unexpectedly.
by
Got it.
unannounced. You gotta give me a heads up because otherwise, You're gonna be standing out there for a minute while I get dressed.
Oh God. Thank you. Noted. All right. So then, Witchy, do you have one?
I do. Okay, somewhat long. I mean, it's medium-ish, but
Okay.
That's
I
what
love
she
this
said.
because like, I love it because it's actually called Petty Revenge, and it's don't pay me and treat me like dirt. I will hide and lock your company's files and ghost you.
Oh
Okay.
God.
Ooh.
So for context, I started a teaching career as an ESL teacher in Asia. I worked from some pretty some from I worked for some pretty cool places, but the last place I worked at before I became a teacher was the worst. Let's call it English Center. For privacy reasons, I won't tell you the city or country as I am still working there. English
Oh
Center
God.
has around three centers owned by the same owner. Now, this center was run by an owner who basically used the business as a cash cow. He would overwork you and underpay you. I often had to threaten to take him to court to pay me on time. So I was contracted to work 4 classes a day of an hour each initially. Eventually, I was given 6 classes and very little marketing and contract time. On top of that, you are expected to work after hours and do marketing during your lunch. I was also forced by a center manager and an admin. So not only was I teaching, I had to deal with admin and teacher and center issues as well. After being paid late for the 4th time, I decided I had enough. So I started looking for a new job. I got I got a job at a new school and started my visa renewal process. This takes 4 weeks. I also didn't tell the owner I was leaving either. At this point, I also had admin access to the center server/network. This had the entire syllabus and everything. I also had student progress and reports which were given to parents monthly. If this file disappeared, the school would be screwed. 4 weeks later, on my last day, the owner yelled at me for something silly, can't remember what it was, and dumped an extra class on me and then told me to work on my off day. At this point, I was seeing red and I was about to delete everything. Instead, I selected the files and put a password, a random combo of letters and symbols, on them and selected them to be hidden so they couldn't be seen. So if you clicked on the file properties, one can see. I then simply packed my stuff and walked out into the morning sun. A while later, the owner tried to keep on calling me. At this point, I was on the beach sipping on an ice cold beer. I ignored him and continued ignoring him. After a year, I met someone who had said that the owner couldn't find the files and was panicking because parents were demanding to see their children's progress. In addition, many teachers had walked out, which resulted in him having to close his business.
Mm.
Wow.
Damn,
Dang,
that
that
I
was a good
was
one.
that
yeah.
was good.
Damn, but do you guys think you guys would ever be petty like that?
Yes.
I think if you pissed me off like enough, I'd do something like that.
I yeah, I think I'll either make it hard. I'm not sure if I'll actually like full on hide it or lock it, but I think I'll make it very
Mhm.
difficult for them just as much for them to like probably find all
Yeah.
that shit, and I'll just be like block block. And if they ever were to call and say I'm gonna sue you for this, like how? Like I don't even work for you no more. I've literally followed everything down to the last T. If anything, I should sue you for not paying me my shit. You
Yeah,
know, like
I
that's
think for
just
me, it would take a lot. Yeah, it would
Mhm.
have to be a lot for me to do something like that.
But that it really does sound like they pushed her to her limit,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
or at least she makes it seem like that.
No, yeah.
Mhm. For sure, for sure.
It also reminds me of another Reddit story that was kind of similar, but this one it was they were trying to push him out, so he finally said fine, like because they ended up telling him to get up and leave. They didn't even want him to stay the last day, and he kept telling them that he was supposed to transfer I don't know what files, but head boss said no, get out. So he said fine and closed his screen, locked it up, and left. Well, not even like an hour later, I think they said that the big boss started calling, demanding to know where his client folders were, and he turned around saying well, did you delete my account? Boss says yes. And so he's like, oh, well, you deleted them, so good luck.
Oh shit. Dang.
All because he didn't want to let him freaking do his last day of work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good petty revenge too, because now he can't get mad at him because like he did that unknowingly. I remember like before always hearing that like I like even as like before like a work thing and everything like I remember people say like I forget where I heard this. I want to say this sometime like in my senior year where people like say like oh make copies for yourself and for your boss just in case like something ever happens if they lose it or accidentally delete it they could come and get it from you or if you're leaving they don't have to bother you they have the extra copies there and everything. Like again, like that's been told to me like as a 101 thing. So the fact that like he just did that to be petty as fuck, it's like, huh, you did that to yourself, man. You deserved it.
Right. That's crazy, you guys. But anyways, all right, ladies and gents. Well, I think we're done for today, right? So if you've enjoyed this show, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're not following us yet, then please go ahead and do so. While we're on various social medias, both all three of us and Bloody Talking. So yeah, check out our link tree in the bio. And that's it for today, you guys. Yeah, stay herbally refreshed. All right, ladies, thank you so much. I am Mita,
I'm Musica.
And I'm Noodles.
and we're Bloody Talking. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and follow us on our other social media.